Hey, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Shitshow Sisterhood, the podcast where we talk about the messy, raw, unfiltered truth of healing after life knocks us on our fucking asses. I'm your host, Jennifer Levins. I am a quantum alignment coach and a Reiki master. I'm also writing my very first book called Surviving the Shit Show, a badass guide to thriving when your world is fucked up. Today's episode is called You're Not Crazy. It really is that bad. And we're going to be diving into one of the most important steps in the healing process, which is accepting your story for what it is. Because here's the deal. If you can't feel it, you can't heal it. And no, you're not imagining how bad it is or how fucking hard it is. It really is that bad. Whatever you're going through, whether it be abuse or grief or, betrayal, it is real and it is valid. So before we go too far into all of this, though, I do want to throw out today's disclaimer. Today, we're going to be touching on topics like childhood abuse and domestic violence. And if that is something that may be triggering for you, please feel free to skip this episode. It is not going to hurt my feelings. My only ask is that you maybe share this episode with someone that you think might be able to benefit from it. Let's talk about what it actually looks like to heal something because you allowed yourself to face it, because you allowed yourself to feel it. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little bit about my history. There are a lot of things in my life that I've been through that I don't always talk about. But when I chose to do this podcast, I chose to open the door on those things and start sharing parts of me that I've really kept hidden, except for maybe those closest to me. Some of the things that I share today might ruffle the feathers of those who were in my life at the time, but weren't really like active participants in my day-to-day life. And for that, I'm sorry, but they happened. And, you know, I keep going back when I think about this to a phrase that my mom used to say all the time when we were growing up. And honestly, I fucking hated this phrase, but it is so, so incredibly true. And it is, if you ain't afraid to do it, I ain't afraid to tell it. These moments happened. And it wasn't until I really started to accept that these are the moments that shaped me that I was truly able to begin to heal from them. Now, I do want to be really, really clear here. I say begin to heal from them. I didn't say I healed from them because this is healing. This is not healed. This is a very real journey that I am on in real time with you guys. And my only hope here is just to share the punches as they come and search for, those little life lessons wrapped up inside the fucking fist that knocks me in the face every time I start thinking about what I want to share on this podcast. So today I'm going to share one of those moments with you guys. It is something I experienced as a teenager, and it is the moment when I finally was able to accept how bad things really were at home. So when I was 15, my parents got divorced. And, like any situation typically where there's a divorce happening, it fucking sucks, right? There were a few really shitty years beforehand, and honestly, several really shitty years afterwards. In the first year after my parents got divorced, my mom started to date guys that she met online. That was back when online dating was first starting to be a thing, and it was the it thing to do if you were a single looking to meet people, and she really fell into the online dating rabbit hole. Eventually, she met this guy, Charles. After knowing each other for 2 months, they ended up getting married, and we moved her, my brother, and I all moved about 3 hours away from basically the life that I had always known. Where I grew up at, where my friends were, everything. Now, when I say that life with Charles was hell, that's truly what I mean. Living in that house made me question, who I was, where I was going, whether or not I was even going to survive to get there. Charles was a very fucked up man. He was abusive to me and my brother on multiple occasions. And after 2 years of living in it, I had really just reached my breaking point. The summer before my senior year of high school was really when that breaking point happened. Charles freaked out one night. We were in the process of replacing the flooring in the living room. When we moved in with Charles, he lived in this really shitty single wide trailer. He was a very paranoid man. And so he had really built like this 8 foot tall fence around the trailer, and he had security cameras everywhere. I remember he even had a camera pointed into my bedroom window. Everything we did in that house was recorded, which was fucked up within itself. It was just a horrible place to live. And the trailer itself was falling apart. The living room floor was completely rotted through. The carpet was so disgusting and smelly because he had honestly allowed his 5 dogs to use it as a fucking toilet for the years before we moved in. So the floor was just rotting away because of it. And my mom had went and bought some of that cheap, like peel and stick flooring from, honestly, I think it was like Dollar General or something to replace this disgusting, smelly ass carpet that was in there. I remember that night I had came home from work. I worked at a pizza place, and I came home from work and started helping out with the flooring. And at some point, it started getting late, and I'm sure, everybody was tired and all the things. And I remember Charles went to go pull a piece of rotted floor up, and he was using this crowbar to like wedge underneath the wood and try and pop it up. Well, I don't know if he misjudged something or what, but he went to go pop this piece of wood up, and the crowbar actually popped out from under the wood and it hit him in the side of the face. You know, I don't know still to this day what possessed me to, because honestly, I knew better, but I laughed. I remember him yelling and screaming at me just over and over and over again. Oh, you think this is funny? You think it's funny that I got hit? I don't even remember the crowbar being in his hand, but I do remember what it felt like when it came crashing down on my left shoulder. I remember being in shock. I remember an explosion of pain. Honestly, I don't even know if I cried, but I do know later that night in my bed, I fucking lost it. I really struggled to understand how and why it happened, but mostly I really struggled to understand how my mom could see it happen to her child and do nothing about it. She was there. She was in the room when it happened, and she did nothing to protect me. The next day, I had this huge bruise on my shoulder. It went across my shoulder and down into my chest. I remember like covering it up with clothing so that nobody would see it. But at some point the next day, me and my mom were sitting in the car talking about what happened, and I told my mom that I felt like I was losing my mind living in that house. I told her that if I stayed there, I felt like I might end up hurting myself. And I told her that she needed to think about leaving him because it wasn't safe for me and my brother to live there. I just wanted her to validate that things were as bad as I thought they were. I felt desperate for her to realize that we weren't in a safe environment and to do something about it. You know what her response was? When her 17-year-old daughter told her that she felt like she might harm herself, she told me to go ahead. She told me that she would always choose Charles over me because one day I would leave her and he would always be there. How fucked up is that? I knew at that point that nothing was ever going to change. If I continued to live in that house, I would have no joy, no hope, just a growing pit of anger and sadness that I didn't know how to deal with. A few weeks later, my childhood best friend came to visit. One of the nights that she was there, my mom and I had a fight, which honestly, at that point in our relationship, was just par for the course. I remember sitting in my bedroom afterwards with Jessica, and for the first time, I allowed myself to just let it all out. I word vomited everything that was happening, every bit of the abuse, every shitty moment, every fear that I had been holding inside of me. Jessica and I sat on my bed. She held me. She listened. She didn't tell me I was overreacting. She didn't even try to fix it. She just listened to me. And it was the first time that I remember feeling validated in what I was saying. For once, someone was fucking listening to me. Over the next couple of days, Jessica and I talked about options, and we agreed that no matter what it took, I was getting the fuck out of that house. By August of that year, Jessica had moved to my town, and she and I had moved into our own apartment. It was this shitty ass 2-bedroom apartment. It was in this rough part of town. It smelled really bad. We didn't have any real furniture to start out with, but you know what? It was ours, and it was not Charles's house. At the time, though, I was still a minor. So legally, to be able for me to be on the lease, I actually had to go to court and get emancipated, meaning I had to take my own mom to court. Imagine that. 17-year-old me standing in a courtroom telling a judge why I could no longer live at home. And let me be real, it wasn't easy. Even years later, after my mom had passed away. I questioned every single decision I made back then. But here's what I had to realize. I wasn't the one who made the choice to put a child in an abusive environment. I wasn't the one who stayed in it. What I did was I made the choice I had to make to survive. And that realization really gave me the permission I needed to forgive myself and to accept, honestly, that this is part of my story. Childhood abuse is a thing that happened to me. It isn't a choice that I made. The moment that I accepted that fact is the same moment I took the very first step towards healing from it. Whatever you've been through is part of your story, but it doesn't mean that you have to stay stuck in it. My experiences made me who I am today. And today, I am a mother who fiercely protects her children. I'm a woman who refuses to back down. And I am a survivor who will never give up on the people she loves. So today, let's take the first steps towards accepting our story for what it is. You're not crazy. It really is that bad. So let's own that. I'm working on a special project for my website called my Shitshow Survival Plan. Once it's finished, I'll leave a link for it in the show notes for you guys if you're interested in checking it out. But basically, what it's going to be is a workbook that you can use to get through the epic fucking shit show of your life in whatever capacity you're in right now. It will be chocked full of journaling prompts and exercises that help you dive deep into the issues that you're facing and to search out the lessons within them so that you can really begin that healing process. One of the exercises is called Own Your Truth. I'd like us to do it together right now. To do it, all you're going to need is a pencil or a pen and a couple pieces of paper. So, whatever you're doing, just take a moment, pause this episode, and then come back and unpause when you're ready. All right, do you have everything? Let's give this a try. What I want you to do is, I want you to look at some of the hardest moments in your life. Choose one that you're ready to face head on and just write it down. Identify the moment. Call it exactly what it is. Use those hard words. If it is childhood abuse, then fucking call it that. You can't heal something that you're going to sugarcoat the shit out of. So let's just be real. Let's call it what it is and let's face it. Next, I want you to write down every single detail that you can remember from that experience. Write down the sights, the smells, the sounds, what it felt like, all of it. Really take some time on this part and just put yourself back into that place for just a moment. Don't live there. Just sort of visit it for a moment. And then write down every single thing you can think of. If you need to pause right here, go ahead and do that. After you've exhausted every detail that you can remember, I want you to look over it. And just for a moment, be proud of yourself. You fucking survived that. That was some heavy ass shit, and you made it through the toughest part. Now I want you to ask yourself three things. What did this experience teach me about resilience? Go ahead and pause and answer that question. All right? The next question is, how did it change the way that you see yourself? Go ahead and answer that question. And lastly, what strengths did you gain from surviving it? Now, let me be clear here. This isn't about finding the silver lining, though that within itself can be a really powerful tool in your toolkit. This is about owning your truth, every messy, painful part of it, and recognizing that you are still here standing after all of it, that you survived it, and that now you can heal from it. This thing that happened to you, it was hard, but you came out of it a stronger, more resilient person. I hope that this exercise really helped you guys today. I'm going to leave you guys today with just a final message. You're not crazy. Your pain is real. And you have the power to face it, to feel it, and to fucking heal from it. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today and for doing this exercise with me today. If you participated in this exercise, first of all, kudos to you. Thank you so much for doing that, for showing up for yourself. If you can just leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know if you found value in that exercise, how it worked out for you. I love hearing from you guys. So thank you so much for participating and just let us know how it went for you. If this episode hit home for you, please just share it with someone that you feel needs to hear it. Maybe even like leave us a review or a comment. Every single review that you guys leave, every single comment, every single time you share this podcast, you are just helping us to grow a community and help this message reach the people who need this medicine. If you're ready to dive even deeper into your healing, head on over to my website. I will leave the link in the show notes below. I've got blog posts over there and all sorts of resources. I'm adding stuff over there daily to help guide you on your healing journey. Also, just so you know, I'm always available to help you guys along the way. Feel free to reach out to me. As always, I appreciate you guys so, so much. Until next time, you guys, keep fighting, keep healing. Always know that you are enough, you are worthy, and you are so very, very loved. Bye, guys.